Hi, this is Nookie Notes from Dating Kinky, and today I was wanting to talk about labels. Labels. We seem to have a love-hate relationship. I know that I've often railed against a particular label and the constraints I felt that it forced upon me. And yet, I value labels for their usefulness in communicating entire concepts and ideas in a single word or phrase. So today I was following up on a few posts I'd made in various groups and pages on Facebook. A few days back, I'd shared a piece on pansexuality that I thought was an interesting look at a word that might be a bit new to some people. And while most people in different channels responded well to the link and the information that it contained, there were some who really railed against it. Not against the idea of being pansexual, so much as labeling oneself pansexual, the pansexual label. And I see things like this a lot, like comments like, why does everything need a label? Labels are limiting. Why use a label at all? Why not just treat everyone the same way? People in general hate to be labeled. I hate to be labeled. And again, I've railed against these limitations myself, so I'm no stranger to these thoughts. That said, I wanted to go over these points and talk a little bit about them. So why does everything need a label? Humans use labels, words, to communicate. Using one label or word over another makes communication more accurate, more concise. Saying chair brings one general thing to mind. Saying chaise lounge brings a more specific thing to mind. Saying kinky person brings one idea to mind. Saying daddy dominant brings a more specific idea to mind. But labels are limiting. Yes. Yes, they are. Labels are meant to be limiting. That's why they make for effective communication. Labels are usually 1 to 3 word shorthands for potentially paragraphs of information. Like the examples I just gave you. Chaise lounge replaces the following: an upholstered sofa in the shape of a chair that is long enough to support the legs. In modern French, the term chaise longue can refer to any long reclining chair such as a deck chair. Wow, that's a bit of a mouthful. And dominant daddy replaces a slight variation from a traditional dominant in a dominant-submissive relationship, in that they must consider their sub's inner child dynamic. Daddy doms are usually in full control of their little, but have to take care of the social and emotional well-being of their baby girl, since their sub is in a slightly different mind space than traditional subs. Another significant indication of a daddy dom is that they will spoil the heck out of their little and more. Now, that said, many labels, specifically those applying to humans, are not and never were meant to be a substitute for actual communication between two people. They are simply a place to begin. So, why use a label at all? Why not just treat everyone the same? You can do both. It's so exciting. You can use and understand what people are communicating with their labels and still treat them as you would treat anyone else. Still give them the same opportunities, still give them the same respect, regardless of their labels, and still respect their labels. People in general hate to be labeled. I hate to be labeled. Agreed. I absolutely despise it when people label me without my input or consent, and yet I happily label myself. We all do. I am a writer, kinky, polyamorous, woman, dominant, foodie, business person, teacher, shoe lover, reader, hedonist, friend, dog enthusiast, flirt, neuroatypical, and I could go on and on and on. I'm betting even you can relate to one or more of those. We all use labels for ourselves. That being said, no one is saying that you have to use a label in that article about pansexuality. They are saying this is the label that they prefer to use and what it means to them. Now, you simply know more about what they are communicating when they say it. Easy. I'd love to hear more about your experiences and thoughts about labels. What are your experiences with labels, good and bad? How have you been labeled, maybe with your consent or against your consent? How have you found labels to help you in your life or maybe even hinder you? I'd love to see more in the comments below. And this is Nookie from Dating Kinky signing off. Have an amazingly kinky day.